Hi, I'm Kitty Felde. Last week, we took you to the National Archives where we discussed Janet Macreery's novel, A Little Wicked. This week, we continue the conversation because our young readers had a few questions for the author.
What made you think about Dory having Merlin as a bird?
On one of our many trips to Scotland, we were lucky enough to stay in an 11th century castle that had a falconry. And one of the privileges of staying there is you could have a morning with falconry. So we were lucky enough to have a buzzard, a falcon, and an owl come to our hand when we called. And they were magnificent birds, and that kind of experience stays with you. And when I was writing about Dory, I wanted her to have a falcon of some kind, and she could not possibly have afforded a true falcon. So a buzzard was the best she could ever hope to have.
So, like, how long did it take you to gather all the information that you did that was, like, in the book?
Okay, so there are two kinds of writers. There are planners and pantsers. I am closer to the pantser society. So planners gather all of their information, know everything they want to do, write an outline, and then fill it out with the flesh of the book. I did it more in fits and starts. Like I said, when I left Glencoe the first time, Dory was with me. So I have napkins and sheets of paper and notes to myself all over the place with phrases that Dory said or situations I thought she could encounter. And then at one point I sat down and started to physically write the book. I think I started with the first chapter. And then I would get her into a situation and not know how to get her out of it. And I would have to go back to research and say, what would really happen here? What are the resources available to her? How could she think her way out of this? So then I would stop writing and go back to research. And usually I would gather research on the topic I was looking for and several others. And then I would be able to write different parts of the book at different times and then put it all together eventually.
How long did it take you to make this great book?
Well, thank you for that. Let's see. Dory came home with me in 2004. I started to write the actual book in 2010. So the writing of the book took about, with all the research and the rewrites, probably about 18 months.
How many times have you actually been to Scotland?
6. Can't wait to go back. And my niece was brave enough to cross the ocean with my husband and I, without her parents, to go to Scotland with us one of the times.
Yeah, but I think you guys would go with Janet, wouldn't you? Without your parent? Maybe not. Maybe? Still a no from Sarah. No, thank you very much.
What really ended the witch trials?
That is a great question, and it is up for great debate. The documentation at this part of the trials is contradictory to itself. The best answer I can give you is that the town leaders kind of finally fessed up that they didn't know what they were doing and sort of stopped prosecuting and opened up the jails and kind of said, go ahead.
Wow.
So Dory talked to one of the, I think it was a minister or someone, when she was in jail accused of a witch, and he let her free. What made you think about, like, Dory putting some sense into him?
Well, I think that we learned throughout the book that Dory is a resourceful, a respectful, and an honorable person. And she had become a part of that community, and she took it upon herself to say, I think I know a way to help this through. I think I can figure it out. She also knew that she had her clay doll in the stream. So that gave her the courage, I think, a little extra to push. Because at first the minister was like, I've heard this all before. But for her to keep pushing and keep saying, this is what has to happen. In order for the book to come full circle for me, it had to be Dory who started the end of the witch trials. Does that answer your question? Okay.
We have interviews with lots of other writers at our website, bookclubforkids.org. And if you're a school or library in Southern California or the D.C. area, we would love to come out and tape an episode with your readers. Just send us an email and we will send you all the information. Our email is kitty@bookclubforkids.org. And I am Kitty Felde. Thanks so much for listening.